My name's Michael Atkinson. I'm a volunteer at Shipley Glen Tramway. The tramway opened in 1895 and it was built by a gentleman who had interest in the fairground that used to be at the top. It was a very popular destination for Victorian ladies and gentlemen on their Sunday, particularly ones coming from Saltaire village, which is close by near Salts Mill. And they would go up to the top on the tram, have a walk around, visit the amusements that were up there, because at the time there was an aerial glide and various other amusement rides that you could go on. There were some Japanese gardens that people used to ride around in a small boat and all that kind of thing. There were some little bagatelle machines and one thing and another. And as time went on, that got bigger and more modern. There were dodgems and an aerial glide. But the attractions of that waned, and ultimately the fairgrounds closed down. The tram managed to stay running for quite a while after that, but then it had to close because there wasn't the revenue to keep it open. There were a few openings and closings during the 80s, but ultimately it was put into trust. The land and everything else is owned by Bradford Council, and it's leased back to the tramway as a peppercorn rent, basically. All the volunteers are just that. Nobody gets paid for doing what we do. And the tramway at the moment is open from midday until 4 o'clock every Sunday. Although after Easter, it will open across the weekend and additionally on some bank holidays. The tram was originally powered by a gas engine, which was at the top station, but that's now gone, and it's powered by about a 40 horsepower electric engine. As you would imagine in the modern era, the tram is controlled with lots, and I think there are 6 separate safety systems that run, and if one of them trips, then the tram doesn't run. But there's a health and safety inspection a couple of times every year, and so everything's kept up to date. The tram is pulled up with a cable which is made in South Yorkshire. We have to go to South Yorkshire to get it because it's the same type of cable that was used to operate the pits, and there's a pit head wheel at both ends that the cable goes round to pull the thing up and down. The cables are attached under each tram and run over a series of rollers just to keep everything moving. The cable is in 2 parts. The bottom part is a lighter weight because it doesn't actually take any load. All it does is to keep help to keep the cars dampened. But the upper half of the cable, which does all the pulling, that's a slightly heavier gauge, a bit stronger, so that there's no chance of it failing. The cables are changed roughly once every 7 or 8 years, but they are inspected every week, as is every other operating feature before we open. We are known for running Santa specials, which for the first time this year were booked online, and obviously we'll be doing so every year from now on, all being well. But that's a brief potted history, and I hope that's okay.
That's fantastic, thank you very much.